You can write a check, you can put cash in. Some people even put gambling chips in the offering plate. I'm not kidding. Because it's really giving not only to his church, it's giving to the Lord. So Dr. Lynn, would you scripture on your heart, whatever's in your heart, because you're my mentor. Do whatever you want.
The Lord shared with me the word stewardship. You know, Paul the Apostle thought very highly of stewardship of his calling and ministry. Let's pray. Let's believe, God, that our vision will even expand and extend and do more effectively than ever before. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you for the privilege of being part of this great work right here at ICLV.
And the buckets are going to go around the aisles. Go ahead and give as the Lord leads your heart.
That is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. It's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saint.
Mac, you understand me? D-Mac Corleone alias, you understand? From the go to the no.
Yes, sir.
Chicago to Fresno, sums up my motherfucking macaroni life.
Hey man, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How long you been in the game is that you claim to find?
Oh, 78, I had my first home, I was 18.
Yeah,
I went over, Rick, Chicago Ricky took me over down Magic Juan's house for the first time his birthday party. Yeah, and I was turned on ever since. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what they say about the game? Yeah, they got to be in you. It can't be on.
Can't be on.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, Vinny back, I got a live exclusive players. I told you I'm going to bring something fresh to death. But I finally got a real true one in the building, man. Chicago finest, I'm talking about.
Believe that.
Yeah, he went back. You understand what I'm saying? And don't forget to put the back on.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You might as well say Herman if you don't say Mac.
Yeah, believe that, man. So, Pete, tell me about some of your experiences in this game.
Hey man, the up and down of the game, that's what turns me on.
Yeah.
You understand? I mean, you know, this shit could turn around overnight, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got some hard times, man, and it take a tough motherfucker to go through these motherfucking bitches.
All right, man, we here. A weak ass shit last night. That shit was trash. Yeah. You know, they did VADA testing for sure. Everybody keep complaining about the commentating. I didn't think it was bad. What did y'all expect? What did y'all didn't like about the commentating? People keep complaining about the commentating. I didn't see what was wrong with that. Man, Mexicans don't never need to my bad. Hold on real quick. Mexicans don't never need to comment about nothing that's going on about black boxing. This is their best. This is the best that they have to offer. This dude had every advantage, and they still tried to rob Crawford, which I addressed that at a different date and a different time. They still tried to rob Crawford. You know what I'm saying? And Crawford not only, not only did Crawford beat him up, he outboxed him. He did what he wanted to do with him. And at the end of the day, I heard kind of Crawford and Ryan Garcia say something because they mentioned what Ryan said through the telecast. Why Canelo throw everything hard is so because because of the feints. So when he feint, you basically ball up. So basically, when you ball up, you start bracing off the feints. You start biting or bracing off the feints. That way, he know when he wind up and throw, most opponents freeze. They didn't make that adjustment. He seen was Mayweather that didn't work. He seen versus Mayweather that didn't work, so he thought that was gonna work against Lara versus Skull versus Wales School fighters. And what he should be doing is jabbing. Now, what I heard Crawford say after, I think at the press conference, he said he didn't think Canelo jabbed because he was scared he was going to counter him. And then the problem with that is you don't jab because the reason you don't jab is this, right? The reason you do jab and you get away with that is because you just change the rhythm of your jab. It's as simple as that. Change the rhythm of your jab. Like, why you got to throw everything hard? That's his problem. He want to throw everything at one speed. Sometimes you can't use one tool, don't fit all. He should have been working on his Triple G. I mean, when he fought Triple G, he should have seen it. Triple G threw a piston like jab, sometimes pistol P. Triple G throw a piston like jab. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he throw a hard power jab. That's what Canelo should have been doing. If you worried about, you're gonna get hit regardless. But if you establish that jab you know what I'm saying? But most Mexicans don't jab. I mean, what's the Vargas kid should have been jabbing last night. Lester Martinez was jabbing last night. His mistake was he'd hurt Mbili to the body. And then he won't go back to the body. He hurt Mbili. I didn't cut my motherfucking face. I'm pimple and shit trying to brush my beard. That's what took me so long to come on. I just got up. That shit. And then they need their ass kicked for having that fight come on so late. Like, that shit wasn't even over with until like 2-3 in the morning. That's why I can't stand West Coast fight. Don't nobody want to be on West Coast time. Let me say that first and foremost. Nobody want to be on West Coast time. West Coast time is some of the dumbest time of all time. Like the NBA pushing their games back. Man, fuck the West Coast time. Fuck Pacific time. Yeah, I said it. Who gives a fuck about Pacific time? It's all about Eastern Standard Time. United States go on Eastern Standard Time. We don't give a hell about no damn Pacific. We give a fuck about a Pacific. Motherfuckers 3 hours behind us, trying to catch up to where we at. You know what I mean? Fuck some Pacific time. Fuck the Pacific cooler from Capri Sun. Fuck Pacific University. Yeah, fuck Pacific time. I said it. Khaki wearing ass, gang banging, bandana wearing ass, ice raids ass, West Coast ass ninjas. niggas in California. Oh, hold on, CJ, hold on. Yeah, man, that shit too late to be standing up for a fight. People got lives and shit. Yeah, all fights should be Eastern Standard Time or Central. Fuck Mountain Time. Forget Mountain Ice. Forget the Everglades Mountains, whatever Mount Everest. We get that right. Yeah. Give nothing about Mountain Time. It's all about Eastern Standard Time and then maybe Central Standard Time. I give a damn about no damn Pacific Time. All big fights should be at Madison Square Garden anyway. Come on, man. After Steph Curry retired, they ain't got nothing on the West Coast. Who care for the Raiders? They don't even like on the West Coast. They don't even like pro football. They don't even like basketball. You know how boring the Lakers games be, remember? They boring ass, clear eyes, and not Shaquille. Oh, man, West Coast ain't good, but nothing but weed and eating vegetables and shit like that. Picking strawberries and shit, man. Them dry hair ass bitches they got out there. The hair be burnt up and dried in the motherfucker. You ever met a bitch from Phoenix? Hair be drier than a goddamn grass. Little 3 blades of grass on their front lawn. But well, yeah, you know, Bud did it. I was rooting for him, but I just thought Canelo, you know, every advantage, and I was right to the point where they tried the gun and the mask, Bud. But like I said, I'll address that in a different video. They tried to rob Bud. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you know, I don't know why Hispanics don't jab. Vargas should have came out dropping that jab to Callum Welch to set up the right hand over the top. Callum Welch was ass. He was supposed to be some hot prospect. I thought he was the other tall kid who fought somebody, but that's not him. I forget the other tall kid from over there. He had he had beat somebody that we just was talking about. I can't remember what was the dude's name. It's another tall kid, bro, over there. Oh man. And I was like, he just beat somebody. I can't remember who it was. But Callum Welch he looked trash. I don't know if they had an agreement for him. He wanted to get out of there without getting beat up by them Hispanics. He didn't want to beat up Vargas too bad. And I do videos talking about the individual fights. I knew Lester Martinez and Mbili would be the best fight. I think Martinez missed opportunities to the body. But in this particular fight, you know, Bud said he wanted to come out orthodox, and they told him to come out southpaw. And you know, they had problems. They had problems controlling Bud in that fight. You know, Bud, you know, they was kind of telling Bud, hey man, you changing too much. But at the end of the day, the fighters and the corners and the fans, we see 3 different things. You know, the judges sit at 3 different sides, the announcer somewhere else. So when you start understanding, when you go to the fight, it looked totally different. You don't have the camera angles, you don't have the skybox, you don't have all the different camera angles to give you the best shots. They most fans, I think maybe the announcers, some of the people may have, but for the most part, it looked totally different from in the arena on TV, you know, and where you're sitting at. It looked totally different. So he chose to go southpaw. Shakur Stevenson pointed that out, that southpaws gave Canelo a lot of problems. And Eddie Reynoso can't teach him how to do nothing better. That ain't fucking evident. And obviously it's too late to switch from Eddie Reynoso. He should have been had Canelo changing the speeds of that jab, working on different variations of that jab. You know, shooting that jab to a guy's chest or shooting to right under their heart. He should have been working that jab, but you know, Benavidez got a good jab. He don't throw it. You know, Vargas' jab didn't look too bad last night. He didn't throw it. The Hispanics, Mexicans just don't jab. I don't know why. They like to come around the guard with hooks and stuff. And when you fight a guy like Crawford, you know, the book was on him when he fought Felix Diaz, he couldn't really handle those overhand lefts and rights. And that's one of the things about the Madrimov fight most people didn't know. The thing about the Madrimov fight was that Madrimov, whatever you want to call him, he was really, really good at looping overhand lefts and rights and a looping uppercut. I actually studied him, and that was his bread and butter. And Crawford took that away. It was the reason why Crawford was ahead of his name versus Madrimov. It's because Madrimov had a really good looping left, right hook, left. I remember he fought the kid from Houston. Really good looping uppercut. And Crawford did a tremendous job, you know, taking away Madrimov's 3 best punches. You know what I'm saying? He did a tremendous job doing that. And, you know, tonight he neutralized Canelo's power. But at the end of the day, Canelo's a one-at-a-time fighter. Everything come off hard. At some point, you know, some fights where Floyd throw things hard. It's some fights where you will see Hagler throw shit hard. There's some fights you'll see, you know, certain fighters throw stuff hard. It's sometimes you see fighters throw throwaway shots. They ain't meant to land. They meant to just put you in a position. Sometimes, you know, when guys measure you with that jab and how they don't let you remember you see like heavyweights a lot of time. I think Lennox used to like really measure people with the jab, and they kind of, and the Klitschko's did it for sure, and they outlawed it. They outlawed it. But one of the things about measuring with the measure, it controls your opponent. It puts your opponent in the where you want them at. That's the thing about it. So Canelo and a lot of Hispanic fighters, you know what I'm saying, they don't really understand, you know, really using that, you know, throwaway punches and and putting people in position how you want them to. Sometimes you might throw that jab right off Crawford's right ear right there. You threw it to miss. You threw it so he can slide to that left where you can drop a right hand to the body. Sometimes you throw punches to miss. But he don't know how to change speeds up. If he was a lawnmower John Deere, he'd had one speed. He'd had that speed. Remember on the Water Boy when she souped up his John Deere, whatever it was, his tractor. That's the only speed that he would have. That's the only speed that he would have. So he has, it's probably too late, but it's important that you change the speed. You change your speed. Had he changed his speed, he could have threw a jab without getting countered. Had he changed his speed, he could have learned how to double the jab, throw a power jab, keep him off balance. Instead of throwing one hard shot to the hip, one hard shot to the body, guess what? 2 or 3. You seen it with Lester Martinez. Martinez throw boop boop, and then he throw one shot to the body, and Mombilia back up, take a deep breath, come forward. And Martinez would not throw 3-4 shots to the body. Had he did that, he would have probably stopped Christian Mbidi. He didn't do it. And that same thing you hear, one of the Crawford can handle one at a time. No Diddy, no Harvey Weinstein. Most guys can take one shot to the body, one shot here, one shot there. So when you start, you had a southpaw in your presence. What's the jab? What's the jab? What's the jab right hand? That's the ticket right there. Guess what? If you throw a hard right hand, right? You throw a hard right hand, he gonna make a guy like Crawford gonna elude that. You got to set that up with something. Maybe a jab to the chest or the jab to the heart, and then come over the top. Maybe a classic 1-2. I mean, Foreman knocked out Michael Moore, one of the greatest 1-2s that I've ever seen, including some of the Muhammad Ali's 1-2s, given his age. So if you don't use the one, even to warm up, I mean, you ain't gonna beat a guy like Crawford. And then Crawford said, well, he was worried of me coming over top, countering the jab. So be it. Change the speed of the jab. And you ain't getting beat no guy like Crawford. Honestly, it really ain't about being pretty much flat-footed. I mean, you can talk about Foreman was flat-footed. He almost sent Muhammad Ali to the fucking upper room. You know what I'm saying? I think for Canelo, he did a great job of backing Crawford up, but apparently Crawford had a little bit more in his artillery as far as firepower. And I think he was about to quit too, and I'm gonna address that. I just think he just didn't really he didn't have the answers. He don't have the answers. I mean, if anybody he should have went to go train with just in general and brought in should have been Chavez. Chavez, was phenomenal against, for Mexican standard, he was phenomenal against black fighters. But then again, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he was a guy that just, he was a smaller guy. He pivot in and out. He pivot side to side, worked the body. He had, good head. I mean, he could have helped Canelo. And just understand that. But when you don't throw a jab versus Mayweather versus Crawford, I mean, what gave Roy Jones in his prime? Who gave Roy Jones his biggest fits in his prime? It was Montel Griffin. What did Montel Griffin and Eddie Futch what he had Montel Griffin doing? He had him throwing a jab. He frustrated Roy with timing in the jab. That's a fact. He frustrated with the timing in the jab. So, most of the guys that gave Mayweather problems, you know what I'm saying? They actually committed to the jab, or they just closed the gap. So if you ain't gonna jab versus Crawford, you're gonna have an uphill battle. You're gonna throw everything at the same speed. At some point you expect the Crawford to slow down, and you expect the Canelo to catch him. Crawford, like I said, you couldn't quantify by looking Crawford's condition. He wasn't sweating. He didn't break a sweat. Sometimes that's the sign of dehydration. Obviously, I don't think that's a sign here. He was able to eat, drink what he wanted to. But he wasn't sweating in that fight. So a lot of times, sometimes you sweat because you panic, or your heart rate go up. That's basically what happens. He was able to remain calm. I think that was more about him not sweating over saturated sweat. He was calm. He was nervous. He broke this guy down to a T. And I think when you start seeing him exchange, he felt the power fade. I told you on the inside, that's where you should go at. And the inside, he beat him up, of course. Canelo ain't too many great inside fighters around no more. You know, ain't too many great inside fighters no more. You know, when you think about who a great inside, you see Mbili, but really when you look at Mbili, you don't really see, you just see reckless abandonment, right? You know, that's what you see when you see Mbili. You see reckless. It ain't like when you talking about inside. I mean, remember Chavez used to work on the inside, that senior used to work on the inside and turn guys, and really he used to really get in there and eat. I mean, like that Hagler used to get in there and eat. You don't see really great inside fighters no more. Tie your hand up and beat you with the other hand. All that shit. I mean, if you live, why would you call, brother? If I'm live, why would you give me a call? I'm not gonna answer it. This a one-man show. I ain't letting people on today. But I gotta put my parlay slips in. Give me 1 second. He said, Bud different, Don Royal, Cannabis Cove. I ain't gonna be able to get through all these, y'all. Cyril salute. Don Royal. He said, I'm going off 4 hours of sleep. I was so hyped, man. I don't even know what time I went to bed. I didn't get no ass. I went right to bed. Mexico is quiet per usual. I got 2 Mexican neighbors. That's watching the fight and hear shit. Man just got done watching your Russell Wilson video. Yeah, I mean, and she gonna leave that nigga. I'm telling you, dog. I know this like the back of my hand, bro. I didn't know she had facial work done. He had Canelo back. Yeah, he did. And that's I will say this to that comment. He had Canelo backing up. Canelo was trying to bait him into a shot. That's what he was trying to do. Canelo was trying to bait him to get him to overcommit. But the thing about it is, had Crawford had shorter arms, I feel like he would have succeeded. But Crawford was able to, Crawford was able to, he had long arms. So therefore, Crawford was able to keep his distance. So he wanted Crawford to overcommit. That's all that was, yo. He's backing himself up into the corner. He wanted Crawford to overcommit. So y'all don't know what he was doing. He was trying to catch Crawford. So I'm running off 3 hours of sleep. But with you Mexican, shut up. You shouldn't even be here saying the Rock one salute. Long layoff and all. I mean, I don't really the layoff. I think they was preparing for it. I think he was putting the weight on. I think in this scenario, I think a layoff. I think fighting could have hurt him because you taking unnecessary abuse. You know what I'm saying? So I guess they looked at it from that situation where I think they looked at it from let's just prepare the body and let's not take no abuse. I didn't think the commentator was horrible. I mean, I think they really was just saying they didn't because I seen Stephon Marbury complain about it. He complained about the commentating, and I'll get to that. He complained about the commentating, and I think they were coming from a place of okay, Bud getting a little bit too comfortable. He's sitting in there too long. He can get knocked out. That's where I think they was coming from. I guess Marbury, he deleted his video. Yeah, Marbury had a video talking shit about that. I can see if I can find it. He said Max Kellerman was horrible at terrible talking about fight can ruin Bud's legacy if he lose. I mean, it can. It was gonna ruin his legacy if he lost. It wasn't gonna ruin his legacy from the point of like from a factual standpoint of view. When people don't like you, it don't matter what you do. They try to look for anything. He ain't gonna get the credit that he truly deserved. But had he lost, everybody would have had an opinion. Places where they looking for something. They're looking for something to gravitate to. They're going to support it. Yeah, I'm surprised. Like I don't understand why. Back in the day, the Midwest was a hub. Pennsylvania, it was kind of like Pennsylvania, kind of the Midwest. It kind of but like Pennsylvania used to get a lot of fights. Ohio, Indiana. I see why niggas don't fight Indiana, but all up there, man. I'm surprised. I'm surprised they don't hit places like who don't have all major sports or somewhere like Alabama and Arkansas. I don't see why they don't hit them places like that. But it's kind of like where like Tyler Perry. I was talking to a director and shit. And I was like, damn, why don't Tyler Perry switch it up and do something different? Why don't he switch it up and do it? No, that's his core audience. You don't want to lose. You don't want to lose for show money. It's a risk. I mean, then when you already made it, why risk the biscuit? I get it. Canelo can't deal with boxers because the motherfucker don't jab and he throw everything hard. Vargas should never been the co-main event. I agree. I told anybody who would listen, Bud will cook him. We standing on business today. I don't even ever doubt a black ass name like Bud to fight. Hey, shout out to him. I cannot believe what I was watching last night. Bud, yeah, he beat him up. Bud said Canelo power wasn't because he didn't get hit flush. He didn't get hit flush. He didn't get hit flush. Oh yeah, man. I seen brother Haddon left us. So rest in peace, Ricky Haddon. That's all I'm gonna say. Somebody watched some channel say Crawford fought the wrong fight and won. I don't know. I mean, maybe he thought he should have did something different. All right. He said Canelo hardly jab, and that's the problem. The apology tour started. I love how people just come in here. Oh, yeah. We'll pick at nigga. We the kings of boxing, Black America. We the kings of everything. They stole everything. Nigga, we made the buffalo wings and they took it. Say what up, bro. We tried to tell you that guy from Omaha smarter, quicker, and not lazy, faster, feet, better angles. He's just better. He put that weight on 100% correctly. Yep. The strength for conditioning coach and Victor Conti bag just went up. Bud won like 10-2. Yeah, I didn't score, but I feel like it was something more. It was more than 116, 112, and 115, 113. He said, what it do, Bud, over everybody? He ain't gonna beat Benavidez. He ain't gonna go up and fight Benavidez. I'm talking shit. Look at y'all. Benavidez. I know that motherfucker was pissed last night. I know Benavidez would have packed that nigga up. Everybody knew that though. Benavidez would have packed dog up. Benavidez would have packed dog up. Or Canelo could have packed him up, but that's what Canelo get for not fighting David Benavidez. Real talk. That's a fact. That's a motherfucking fact. Somebody was gonna get knocked out versus David and Canelo. What's funny thing is, Canelo Alvarez would have put a rehydration clause or put restrictions. He would have put a rehydration clause or he would have put restrictions on David Benavidez. And that's what the fuck he get. Because he didn't want to spot Crawford, nothing. And the rumor was he was willing to fight Errol Spence at a catch weight. I forget the exact weight. That's the crazy thing about it. He was willing to fight Errol Spence at a catch weight. But he wasn't willing to fight but he wasn't willing to spot Bud, nothing. And that was one of the reasons why I went when I said, oh, you know, this dude about to jump up really virtually 3 weight classes. He never got comfortable at 54. And you know, he about to jump up 3 weight classes. You know, no rehydration clause. I know, you know, people say, oh, he look bad versus old buddy. I don't read much into that, honestly. I don't read much into it. I figured, I think this is the best Canelo could have done versus any guy like Terence Crawford, Floyd Mayweather. I think this is the best he could have done. I legit think this is the best he could have done. He's a manufactured fighter. That's the crazy thing about it. He's a manufactured fighter. And that's the God honest truth. Canelo's a manufactured fighter. I say it all the time. If he didn't look the way he looked, bro, he probably wouldn't even be world champion. He probably wouldn't even be world champion if he didn't look the way he looked. He wouldn't even be a world champion. Lester Mondini was so, yeah, that was a good fight. I like to see that again. He said, bud, Canelo doesn't jab like that. He just walks you down in a high, and that's the problem. You got to jab. West Coast time is the best time. It definitely ain't. That shit trash. He said, that's what y'all gonna get when Dana White promotes shit. That's why I don't watch UFC. It came on too late. I don't like that shit. I'll catch the replay. Yeah, I don't like that shit. I don't like that late shit. I hate that West Coast late shit. I get it. Like when you go to the West Coast, you know, I get it because you go out there. If the fight started at 9, that's 6 o'clock there. Yeah, ain't that at 6 o'clock there? So I get it. Still a McBuster ass time though. Chill. But yeah, but because then a lot of stuff they gotta watch on tape delay. I remember back in the day, HBO, I get it. So, but I think fights belong on the East Coast. Don't y'all think fights belong on the East Coast? But overall, man, shit, I feel like it just was missing something yesterday when Bud went. I feel like Bud should have got, and maybe because I ain't watched everybody's opinion on it yet. That's what I will say. I didn't watch everybody's opinion on it, but you know, the Mexican fans still fuck with him. You know, when Canelo lost, I'm still a champion. Yeah, you still a champion. And you won 100 and you won 150. You got $150 million, and you still guaranteed a bunch of money on the back end. And he guaranteed a bunch of money on the back end. Hell yeah, today was a good day when he won before he got in there. He just got embarrassed. And they still gonna support him. Had Bud lost, you know, it would have seemed like, let me say this, it would have seemed like black people didn't support him. That would have been the assumption. You know, because they do a lot of bots. They do a lot of bots online. A lot of these stories about people going to the upper room and these crime stories. Oh, black man did this, black woman. A lot of that is AI, bro. I ain't see the last Mission Impossible. A lot of that shit is AI, man. A lot of these stories you see about people going to start researching them. A lot of that shit AI, man. So it made it seem like black people didn't galvanize. I'll say what really pissed me off is when them brothers, when Deontay lost and they treated him like that. Y'all see him and Andy Ruiz face off? Is Wilder all right, bro? Wilder looks sick. I know he ain't a big guy, you know. Let's see, you know, he probably, you know, honestly, he probably has to put on weight in camp. But yeah, man, I was looking like he looked a little thin and shit. Him and Andy Ruiz, I think they did like a contest or they did something for they did something for Turkey Al-Sheikh. They was doing like a prize giveaway. And you know, Wilder was offered the opportunity to fight Jarrell Miller on this card. I think it was his card. So I seen some of the other shit. Shakur taking the pictures with Munguia and Devin Haney shake hands with Ryan. Somebody they still gonna do the rematch. I mean, some niggas ain't gonna never learn. Hope y'all know that. Some people ain't gonna never learn. You know, people some Shakur Coonan and all that. I mean, what y'all expect? We ain't got to point out the obvious no more, do we? We ain't got to point out the obvious. The obvious is the obvious. But it was, Bud, Bud kind of like was beating him, was kind of muscling him in the clinches. That was another thing. Bud was muscling him in the clinches. He dropped his weight. Canelo is just, in my opinion, man, if this is one of their greatest fighters, I mean, and if you depend on who you talk to, a lot of people feel like Julio Cesar Chavez was a fucking fraud. A lot of people feel that type of way about Julio Cesar Chavez. So the funny thing about it is they support him, but that's the best they got to offer. And it wasn't even close to what, depending who you talk to, Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Robinson, Henry Armstrong, Charles Burley, Archie Moore. You know what I'm saying? The list goes on and on. We could keep them in the smaller weight classes. We had guys like guys like who don't even get mentioned, like Donald Curry, Terry Norris, Julian Jackson, Gerald McClellan, Aaron Pryor. The list goes on and on. Depend on who you ask. Some people will see those guys as better than Crawford because that was their era. When you start and you get it, like Puerto Rico not having a lot of great fighters, you get it because it's a small fucking, what is it considered, an island? It's a small place. Mexico, used to be a bigger country before their land got stolen. That's a fact. But in reality, they don't dominate because they don't claim Roberto Duran. They don't claim him. Let's keep it a bean. They don't claim Roberto Duran. They don't. So when you start looking at it, their greatest is like our average damn near. Our average prize fighters, I'm probably being lenient saying that's their greatest fighters. And what other sport are they great at? I don't know. I don't really watch football. Or soccer. We call it soccer. So, yeah, I don't watch it. So what else are they good at? Track and field, the broad jump, the long jump, the high jump. And they ain't shit in basketball. There's a couple of them in football. So, yeah, just saying. He said, facts, I was dozing off watching. Bro, I didn't watch that shit. I was searching. I was watching it, but I wasn't watching it. So I was watching it, but I wasn't watching it. But honestly, that motherfucker's sad, bro. That motherfucking Canelo sad. If this the best they got to fucking offer, dog, man, he supposed to pack Bud up, dog. He supposed to pack that nigga up. He said Canelo can't deal with boxing. Man, okay, my thing is this. It's been plenty of fighters who had the speed advantage. What beat speed? They always talking about what beat power, which is defense and speed. What beat speed? Timing. Timing beat speed. Where's your timing at? But it's hard to have timing when you fighting an elusive target when you don't throw a fucking jab. We getting Kobe them UAs, Hirachis. I lost a pair of UA Hirachis to him. I'm calling a plug. She making them right now. They gonna look like the real thing. I ain't gonna tell nobody else. It's 1 in the morning a.m. and my shit was that shit didn't end to 3 on my end. Mount Kilimanjaro. Yeah, that shit. Mount Kilimanjaro. Shit like that. You gonna have to go to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro to get your Hirachis, nigga. Hey, I'm gonna send them. You know what? I'm gonna send them bitches to Brooklyn. I know somebody in Brooklyn. You got to pick it up from a trap spot in Brooklyn. You got to go to a crack spot in Brooklyn to get your shit. Hey, we gonna send Kobe shit to the trap spot in Brooklyn. 150 million for a poor performance. Man, absolutely disgusting. I'll say this. I wouldn't call his performance poor because I seen some poor ass fucking performance like Shakur and Edwin De Los Santos. I mean, at least Canelo provided some. I mean, I really don't think it was hard for him to provide this, but he took every time he punched, he took the air out the arena. Everybody's heart was beating fast. Richard Shields said, "Yeah, I was worried for him." And every time Canelo punched, and just his presence as the bigger man, every time he raised his hand, you know, or hit Bud on the elbow or hit him on the hip or like, and when it came down to support Canelo for fight night, he went into rehab and Canelo felt like, you know, Oscar left him hanging. That's exactly what happened. So ever since then, him and Oscar, that had been a rift there. He felt that when he lost to Canelo, when he lost to Floyd, Oscar left him hanging. How you gonna go to rehab the week of the fight? You did all that shit talking. Yeah, for those who don't know, yeah, that's when the beef first started. Yep. You know, remember Canelo was able to get out of contracts that he shouldn't even, they spoiled him. I don't care about the lines. Fuck the lines. Right for the Pistons. He said, I can't believe Canelo. Somebody do. I picked Canelo. Hell yeah. I thought Canelo was gonna pack this nigga up. I mean, I don't know how much he weighed last night, Coach Malachi, but I say this. I kind of figured, I'm gonna tell you something. When I kind of figured that, and I said this on the video, I figured that he might be in a little bit of trouble, is when he came into this fight slimmer. Look at him. He came into this shit slimmer. He came in slim. And I say, why are you conforming to the smaller guy? Early on, I think it looked like he might be a little bit. Bud looked a little slow at first. I think Bud was a little man, and Canelo was looking a little bit fast. And then Bud, but I think Bud was fucking with him. And then Bud started turning on the hand speed. It was a wrap. Canelo started fading. His mouth was open. They did VADA testing. It was a wrap. He said, Phoenix hoes do got dry hair. Yeah, all them shit. Yeah. You think I don't know? Man, I be hearing the videos like, nigga, the hoes and the black women in Phoenix, the black women out west don't get no play, bro. All the black women in Southern California and Phoenix and places like that, man, dog, they don't. I be hearing them complain all the time that guys won't talk to them. What up, Tiger Joe? Long time no see, brother. You win again. Yeah, I picked fucking Canelo. My fan was with Bud. Anybody logically when they look at it, but Bud is a different nigga. I give him that. Bud, like I said before, shout out to him. Can't too many people make that jump with over a year off. Y'all don't understand. Charlo is physically bigger than him. I think Charlo put the weight on wrong. And obviously Charlo don't have that skill set. But I think Charlo is naturally a more powerful I think he's a naturally harder hitting guy. I mean, he's naturally bigger than Bud. He's supposed to be, but Charlo got skills. He just can't handle pressure. But I think he put the weight on wrong. And I think Charlo's inability to put that weight on right, I think he was just lethargic. If Charlo was able to put the weight on the right way, hold on one second. I think if Charlo was able to put the weight on the right way, I think he would have won that fight. McKinnon, I ain't watched nothing else yesterday. So anybody else fought, we knew they were going to try to rob Bud. And that was part of my thinking too. They did try to rob him. He had the commission, but one thing was evident: the motherfuckers drug tested. They drug tested. Mabili should have been yeah. Crawford came out with the Jermaine O'Neal braids. Yeah, he did. Bud washed. Yeah, I feel like Bud washed him. Yeah, I seen shout out to Jermaine Franklin, man. Real good dude. Shout out to him for winning. I think he could be headed for what's the brother Moses Atama fight? I like that brother. I've interviewed Jermaine Frank. He's a good dude, bro. He said, I know them Vargas boys better. Never mention DB3 again. I think that Vargas kid, Junior, he didn't have no amateur career. So for him to hang in there like that with a guy like Callum Welsh, who had extensive amateur career, like I said before, I ain't kicking nobody when they down. I don't think Fernando Vargas and Callum Welsh had a huge gap like that. Honestly. I didn't see a gap between them. I just think Callum Watts just had more experience. He looked ass too. He said it looked like Chavez and Whitaker. Bud just styled on it. Yeah, that was one of the most atrocious robberies. Y'all be talking about bad robberies. That's the number one. That's the worst robbery I ever seen. As far as on that level, that was the worst robbery I ever seen. That I mean, you know, he walked Chavez down. He walked Chavez down. That was one of the horrible robberies. So, but Bud had, I feel like he had to go against what Bomac said, and he had to go in there and exchange. I think that's what put the icing on the cake for them crooked ass judges. His ability to exchange. But Dream also Bud hard. I wouldn't even say that was a hard fight. That one to me it was. Y'all made it seem like it was a great fight. It wasn't, but whatever. When Billy got no jab, this man really retired. So yeah. He from where is he from? Congo? Nah, he ain't from Congo. What's brother Christian Mbili from yeah, where you from? Cameroon, my bad. He from Cameroon. I fuck with him though. Shout out to him. I fuck with him. I was nervous in the 9th round. I told y'all if he got out the 7th or 8th, and I wanted to say the 9. I said 7, 8, but I meant 7, 8, 9. If he got out that 9th round, if he got out 7 and 8 unscathed, it was a wrap. Because he put enough rounds together in the beginning. Yeah, I said that. I said if he got out of 7 and 8 unscathed, he was gonna win that fight. But I felt like I kind of started to see when Canelo started to slim down, and he probably didn't rehydrate high enough. I don't think he rehydrated enough. I think he tried to come in slim and match speed. Fuck that. I'm not matching speed with Canelo, with Bud Crawford. If I got guys in camp like Boots Ennis, I'm just working on timing. But once again, they told people, bruh. They told people. Boots ain't Bud. But let's talk about Canelo about to quit. He was about to quit in that fight. You know what I'm saying? He was about to quit in that fight. You know, he's about to quit in that fight. He was literally, you know, about to quit that fight, bro. There was times where he was about to pull a Roberto Duran. He wanted to quit. Now, my thing is this. Roberto Duran, he had two things going for him, right? Let's talk about the two things Roberto Duran had going for him. Roberto had already beat Sugar Ray Leonard. Now, contrary to what you niggas heard and what y'all believe, that's why you got to research yourself. Brother Roberto Duran did not move up 2 weight classes to beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. That wasn't true, right? That wasn't true. But he had already beat him regardless. He's already beat him regardless. So him quitting, I mean, he quit. He got frustrated. He quit. But he still was a great fighter before he quit and after he quit. He might even been a greater fighter after he quit. That was the difference. So, that's a huge difference. He went on, I think he got knocked out by Thomas Hearns after. I don't say it was after that, but he went on to beat a guy, Rand Barkley, went 15 with Marvin Hagler. He had a hell of a fight career. Canelo quitting, he ain't never beat Terence Crawford, and most people didn't feel like he convincingly is as good nowhere near as Roberto Duran, and also people don't feel like he convincingly ever beat that type of style. So nobody ever feel like he beat that type of style to begin with. So yeah, that's something to think about for a minute. So I think he wanted to quit. Remember the sparring partner said for one of them fights, he wanted to quit. He said he quit in the sparring fight. Man. So it was frustration. They don't have answers, and it's just what happened when you don't throw a fucking jab. I'm telling you that. It's what happened when you don't throw a fucking jab. You have to throw a jab. But if he quit, that would have changed. I mean, that would have made Bud that much greater. That would have changed the trajectory of their careers. That would have changed the trajectories of their careers. So he wanted to quit. His body language said quit. He was showing his frustration. That's part of being a great fighter. Part of being a great fighter is keeping a poker face. That's part of being a great fighter is keeping a poker face. And when you show your frustration, when Bud seen that, it was a wrap. That was a wrap. So I feel like he should have went on to fight David Benavidez. You know, and I like the way Canelo handled that loss. He said, I feel great. He was non-committal to a rematch, and I don't think you need to see one. You know, if I'm Bud Crawford, I'm just going to ride off into the sunset. But if you make 50 M's, you got other opportunity to make 50 and 100 M's and all that. I mean, make your money. Make your money. 38 years old. I'd get out of there, but, you know, I ain't in that position in. I don't know what his financials like. He got 11,000 kids, had another one. So I ain't in that position, but I walk out. Remember Timothy Bradley was like, if I was Marquez, after I knocked out Pacquiao, I'd have walked out with my hand. Facts. I'd have left the game. But like I said, you don't know these niggas' finances. A lot of these niggas be tricking on hoes. They got kids. You know, maybe they want to put, you know, build more gyms. You know, why you can get it as a man, your thing is why you can get it, you know, how you used to get it, you get it as much as possible. You get greedy. You supposed to be greedy. You know what I'm saying? He supposed to be greedy. You know, with inflation and all that type of shit. So yeah. Who gonna walk away from 150, another $50 million pay, $100 million? Nobody walking away from that. Can't believe False Dog Canelo's gonna be, but I told folks he was going the Errol Spence. I wouldn't say all that. I ain't gonna say he didn't like Errol Spence. He had sweet science, and that's what it was, Big Bud. He said, no, you know what I'm saying? He got to fight. Man, got to fight these nuts. Tell Fag, he got to fight these nuts. They ain't even in the same weight class. Don't be listening. Yeah. He said, Rich Blah, he said, Bud came out with the guitar case like Desperate. Yeah, that shit was funny. A lot of niggas, he cool, they ain't even get it, bro. Shout out to Rich Block, 27. Roger Mayweather was known for starting trolling Mexicans first. People forget that. Rest in peace. He said Bud ain't them body shots. Well, he said a lot of them was hitting him on the elbow. He says, shout out to Solid Child. He said, he said, tell Cinnamon he got to slide the Memorial Stadium for the week. Get back. I ain't gonna be no rematch. Take Jenna. Oh, I wouldn't even fight. Ain't no point in fighting Jenna Big. For what? I wouldn't even fight that motherfucker. I mean, if I did fight anybody at fucking 60, it'd be Carlos Adames. Him and Bud already sparred. It'll be a Adames fight. I'm not fighting Jenna Big. Like, unless, I mean, to me, it had to be somewhere like historic for that to happen. If I'm him, I mean, it makes sense to go back down and grab a belt. I mean, Lara, I mean, that's the most dangerous fight there is fighting a guy like Lara. Jenna Big is like, it's like, I mean, they ain't done a great job of marketing them. So, but at 60, me personally, I'm walking away. But would you say 35, 40, 47, 54, 68, 6? I mean, how many divisions did Mayweather won? What was it? 30, 35, 40, 47, 54. So Bud would, you know, at the end of the day, man, I mean, yeah, get greedy, man. You know, Tom Brady was out there running shit up. But me personally, if I did go after God, it'd be Adames because we had history. And he's very undisciplined. Jenna Big, like I say, I mean, shout out to him. But me personally, I just don't see why you fight Jenna Big. It don't do nothing for you. If they did a better job marketing Jenna Big, yes. So, and then also, you know, Turkey already got to work a relationship with Carlos Adames. Hard to break someone down without a jab. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm telling you, it's hard to break a boxer down without a jab. You think you beat Muhammad Ali without a jab in his prime? Well, we never seen his prime. I'm going to say very skilled division, but my guess is Steve will consider 60. I mean, standing at 54 for 68. What's the point? Can he? I mean, I don't think he can keep a guy like Mbili off of him. You know, I'm just being honest. That motherfucker African strong. So what's the point of me fighting Mbili for peanuts? You know, Shiraz is a good, you know, tall, rangy, snappy fighter. But what do I get out of beating Shiraz? Nothing. You know, maybe if the King of New York won, he could have fought the King of New York in New York. But the King of New York didn't beat Shiraz. So honestly, to me personally, if I did do to fight somebody, it'd probably be Carlos Adames because of the history. He said it was a great night for black boxing fans. Of course it was. Bud said it did what he believed Andrade would do to Canelo. Andrade, man, I don't even want to bring that down. Where the fuck is he at? Bud was special yesterday. Yeah, he had to be. He still almost got fucking robbed. Crawford, no, I like I said, I think a lot of the times with Crawford back, Canelo was trying to bait him. He was just so desperate yesterday. Mbili needs a better gas tank. And Lester needs to avoid taking so many damaging shots. I just think Lester should have went to the body. I mean, what you want, Mbili gas tank? What you expect from Mbili? Dolomite motherfucker is all go. I thought Mbili gas tank looked pretty good considering he don't stop throwing. To the motherfucker need a jab. And that one guy, he always training motherfuckers without a jab. But man, the guy that trained better BF, he trained Josh Pascal. Pascal don't throw a jab. This motherfucker don't throw a jab. You see, 160 against Adames and Zenobik can be a 6th division title. Yeah, I would say Adames. Zenobik, I don't get why you would fight Zenobik. To me, it's not worth the risk. I mean, Adames, he was tired last 3 rounds. Canelo? Canelo was tired right after the middle of the fight. You talking about Mbili, man. Mbili, throw them same punches on the bag. You're going to be out of there. Then anybody knows how Canelo didn't like the body work? Yeah, no. Because he don't go to the body. He don't get people don't punch the body to Canelo because of his counter punches. Crawford fought off the rope. Yeah, Crawford slid off the ropes. He did the same thing with Canelo. He balled up, shout out to Beasley. He balled up, slid out. Canelo don't want to pin nobody on the ropes, dog, or pin nobody in the corner. Canelo limit. Yeah, anytime you limit it when you don't use a jab. I brought up Roy Jones the time Montel Griffin all jabbed him in that first fight. Boy, when they robbed Roy, the killer Roy came the second time. Well, I guess you picked wrong and Crawford is on another. Shout out to Crawford. Yeah, I picked wrong. Who gives a fuck? Y'all be killing me with that shit. Like I'm about to hide or some shit. I don't give a fuck. Shout out to him. The brother man won. He said masterclass performance. That was a perfect performance. He was trying to do the job with the single shots into the 9. He said Bud looked so sharp. Every single punch looked like a sting from round 1. I would say round 1. I just feel like he landed two good shots in round 1. I gave round 1 to Canelo, but he landed like 2 good shots in round 1. That's what got him around. But other than that, I think in round 1, I think he was fucking with Canelo. Other than them 2 shots, he didn't throw all the shots. His shots look a little slow in round 1. Other than them 2 shots, and then I think when he gauged them, that motherfucker went crazy. He ought to tell you I did drive over 200 miles to watch Crawford lose. He to beat the crowd and the judges. They tried to take it from him, just like Beeble. Crawford whooping feet. Crawford. He said peace. He said Crawford punk Canelo. Go look back. Yeah. I didn't watch much of the press conference, but yeah, Canelo was trying to touch gloves and shake his hand, and and Bud was like, "Nah, ain't no friends in this bitch." 11th round, Canelo looked like he was ready to go hard. Yeah, he was. Yeah, after that, he was ready to quit. You can't, as a fighter, you can't fight with emotions, or you have to fight with control. Put hands on Earl. The way now that Errol Spence fight don't look as bad. It looked bad, but he's just like, okay. I seen Bud listen. I think it was said. I heard 74. That's what they say, but BoxRec ain't always right. Bud said the meme machine already addressed that. He said Dallas, Philly, Pittsburgh, LA Rams, 5-leg parlay. I ain't even look, bro. But Dallas, Philly, money line? Let me take a picture of that. I'm gonna play that. If I win something, I'll throw you something back. We ain't sending Kobe no shoes though. We send them UAs. Kobe gonna be mad. CJ, you better see. I'm gonna send them shits to the trap house in Brooklyn. You gotta get your shit from the trap house, bro. Sorry, bro. You got your shit from the trap. That'd be real though. Canelo did land a solid body shot, but Bud was saying they landed on the arm. I don't know. The commentary. I didn't really. I like Max Kellerman though. You know, I like Max. I like Andre Ward. Who else was calling it with him? Mario Lopez is pretty good too, though. I always like Mario Lopez. Mario Lopez was done, and Antonio Tarver, my favorite. And Mark Kriegel really fucked with Bud though. So shout out to Mark Kriegel. Even as Espinoza was upset, man, fuck Espinoza. Let me put that on the screen. I'm glad you brought that shit up. Did I retweet that? Hold on. I thought I retweeted, but yeah, I put it. I was in the community tab. Mexicans had everything in their fucking they had everything in their motherfucking advantage today, and yesterday, well, basically today, on the East Coast, they could do nothing about it. I said Bud should go down and fight Jinbei. Look here, I don't know why you would fight Jinbei. Don't nobody know who the fuck he is. I just don't think it's worth it. I mean, I don't think it's worth it at all, and I don't even say the risk. He is kind of like slowing down at the way. I don't even want. To me, it'd be Adames. If you wanted to make a statement, it's Lara. You know, if you wanted to kind of make a statement, the most impactful thing would be. But I feel like they all should have been fought each other, and he should go down and fight for Undisputed. But they ain't fought each other. Shut my bad. I didn't even see this, bro. Old school salute. He said, I'm a fan, long-time subscriber of your channel. I'm disappointed that you couldn't believe Crawford was capable of beating Canelo even after following his career. Man, you don't see people jump up 3 weight classes. I consider it 3. You don't see people do that. Jump up 3 weight classes and put the weight on right. And then he took a year to build it up, and shout out to him. Sugar Ray Robinson tried to do it, and he fainted. Fell out through the heat exhaustion versus Billy Joey Maxim. So that's shout out to you. Appreciate the super chat. So you don't necessarily see that happen every day. And then, you know, it ain't like it was a fair fade neither. They still tried to rob him. But Mr. T salute Bud beats the Espinoza Weasel upset. And then you've seen Leonard Ellaby come out of nowhere. Shout out to Don World too. I'm just getting through these. Leonard Ellaby come out of nowhere talking about, oh, Tank, man, Tank these nuts. This ain't about Tank. This ain't about Tank. So I'm trying to make sure I got all the super chats before I get off here. I'm gonna play that parlay though. All right, I got everybody's shit. So if I missed it, I shouldn't have missed it. Coppinger and Bud got the same representation. You talking about Turkey? Mount Rushmore, that's hard. If you're just talking about pound for pound, you know, fighters, and that ain't including heavyweights. He might be on there. Bud might be on there. You saw T.O. try to cloud chase it. No, I ain't see it, dog. I'm going to go check it out, but I appreciate y'all. Peace. Hold on. He said, we keeping it 100. No shit. I've been on here for an hour. I already said that. So what you want to say? But when a nigga right, y'all ain't nobody. When nobody come in here, when a nigga right, don't nobody come here and say nothing. Y'all niggas don't make new accounts and shit. Yeah, I was going for Crawford, but I thought Canelo would win. Ain't nothing wrong with that. The black community happy, but it won. Shout out to my boy Cartier KY, man. Peace.